What's going on, guys? I wanted to come back on the channel for a little bit. I know I haven't been posting a ton. Been really stinking busy, and I know I say that a lot, but I think I put a little too much on myself sometimes. And by the time I get home, get the kids around, spend some time with the wife, I just get pretty burned out. And last thing I really want to do is get in front of a camera and do all the editing and stuff. But I just want to talk about today real quick. Maybe sometimes we don't talk about it, don't think about it, but just like the stress involved with like running a business in general. And I'm not talking about window cleaning in particular, but like just any business. And of course, I'm going to use my own examples and stuff like that. But I think you get to a point in your business that you don't have an option but to either grow or slow. And I think I'm getting to that point, and that's why I've put in the steps and made the steps and the decisions I have made over the last few months to grow. Okay, that's been my goal, and but I just want to talk about like getting to that point and realizing you're to that point and being honest with yourself about that. Um, Early on, I think is where a lot of people are, but like when you first start up, you're grinding for the jobs, you're trying to find the right customers, the clients, really anything that you can really grab your hands on. And you're just kind of pushing and hoping and waiting and doing all the baby steps and all the groundwork to really get your business going. Um, and then you get some clients, and then you're busy, but you're not like amazingly busy. You're like, I wish I was busier. Do some more groundwork, do some more networking, maybe door to door if you're into that. Um, just things um, that you have to do to make the business grow. Um, Figuring out, your schedule and all of that. And I'm still figuring half of that out. I really am. But I've created such a network and I wanted a lot of different ways for me to get and receive jobs. I knew that early on. So I needed channels. And so I set up those channels in networking, and I set up those channels online, and I set up those channels. I don't really have a marketing budget yet. That's going to change when I do hire more folks, because I'm going to need twice and three times the amount of work, but which I can't even really fathom or wrap my head around right now. But I still have all these channels. I have cleaning companies. I have other pressure washing companies. I have other window cleaners. I have realtors, and I have restoration companies, and I've put myself in position to kind of be their go-to guy, right? So now I'm getting to the point where, and I've said this I think this year, but I'm getting to the point where like I think this year has cultivated that, and it's really pushed me to start really making those decisions, whether I wanted to or not, about whether to grow or slow. Because if I don't grow, I gotta slow down, because burnout is real, and it happens quick. I think we're wrapping up our second really full-time month here in Michigan for Windows, and I am feeling it, guys. I am pushing myself 3-4 jobs a day. I have brought a guy on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so he's helping me on those days, but that's even more work that we do, right? And it's easier now that I have a helper with me. Some days I'm probably never going to go back to not having a helper. Realizing, people told me that too. Help is. I was just doing it for myself for so long. I think having help is really vital. So I'm really going to push that. But I just purchased a truck. That's pretty big news. So I got a new truck. So I'm getting that wrapped and outfitted. I already ordered a new system from Tucker, and to really get the tanks in there and really be able to use that efficiently. It's a Tundra. So I'm going to get that looking good. And my goal is to get at least somebody in this van. That's where I'm at now. At least part-time. I think a good goal for myself is like a van or a truck a year, a season, right? So I don't want to move too fast. So I'm going to figure out figure out two, maybe three, right? And then I'm going to figure out stepping away from the labor. Okay. At least the full-time labor. But you're going to get to a point in your business if you keep pushing. I'm in my 6th year this year, maybe 7th, I think six. And I've never felt the pressure that I feel like this year about just making sure clients are taken care of, trying to satisfy clients I really find it hard to say no sometimes. So I'm always trying to fit people into the schedule. My normal month, I think I have a couple peak previous years. I've had a couple peak months where I'm hitting like 20 to 22,000 by myself. But most of the time I'm sitting between, probably 16 to 19,000 a month. Um, and with my helper, I'm probably going to approach 25 on a lot of those. Now, I'm hopefully going to hit 20K a month every year, or sorry, every month of the season rather than like fluctuate. So that means I am working now that I got another truck payment. I financed it. It's only about $400, but like I'm okay. I can work, figuring out in my head, I can work one Saturday and that'll take care of that, right? Or like a half a Saturday. And I've taken a lot more big jobs this year than I have in the past. I'm already probably $7,000 to $8,000 ahead this time last year, but Michigan had a very mild winter, so I think that helps with that. But the point of making this video is just to be ready for the grow or slow season, because I think everybody hits it and everybody gets to a point where you're so stressed out that you're like, man, I'm having trouble keep up with estimates. For the last few years, my thing was, I'm going to get back with you by the end of the day. That's what my voicemail says, right? Well, now I'm having trouble getting back to him by the end of the day because I'm so busy. And as my kids get older, I think that's just going to worsen. So I got to figure it out now to prepare. I'm working with a business. It's like SBDC. They're like a business, small business organization affiliated with like the national small business organizations. And they're basically, there's just a helper there that knows her stuff, and that's going to walk me through my SOPs. Walk me through a manual. I'm going to make all those. I'm in the process of making all those. I've reached out to a few window cleaners that, have done this already and that have their businesses set up. That's one thing I can tell you: surround yourself with people that have done it. You can spend a whole lot of time trying to figure it out yourself, or you can just get the answers pretty quickly by somebody that knows what the heck they're doing already, because they've figured it out, right? I've done it with folks that have contacted me, and I think it's just a really wisdom-filled thing to do. It'll get you set up quicker. You're gonna, cut out a lot of those speed bumps that you may encounter if you try to do it yourself. And I think it's just a real good way to go. But this year, like I said, I'm really having trouble getting back voicemails. I'm really having trouble getting back estimates, unlike I've ever had. Usually, I'm good, but I think with adding a guy and making sure that we're trying to figure out the timing on that. Like I said, normally I'm doing between $700 and $900 a day by myself. With him, I'm doing probably 1,100 to probably 1,300 right now. So he's definitely making me more money. And we're just gonna get quicker. We've only been working together probably 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm also talking to another guy that's coming up from Tennessee. Shout out Sam, that wants to work, weekends. He's coming up doing an academy here, KVCC Wind Turbine Academy. And he was like, hey man, I want to work weekends. I got Saturdays and Sundays. I'm slammed during the week with the academy, but I'd love to work, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to bring him on. He's going to come with me to a couple jobs. He has prior experience. He has really great reviews from his last employer, and I'm gonna interview him. I'm gonna give him a shot. But that'll free up my Saturdays, right? So it's always about freeing up your time, freeing up your, to what do they say? To work on the business is not in the business. And this is the year where I made the decision, 2024, that that's what I'm doing. And I see probably in the next 5 years, I'm going to have probably 3 or 4 trucks. I'm going to be on the quality control side, the sales side, and I'm going to help when needed, of course. But I think that's my goal. And I think it's important to set those goals and to know your direction on what you want to do, how you want to do it, and lay out the groundwork early on before you're even thinking about it, so you have a direction when it's time. And I think, I've thought about doing coaching. I still may do that. I don't know. It's a massive investment, but I've heard great things for people that have done it. So I don't think it's a bad investment. I just think it's kind of, just the direction. Will it be good for me? Do I have the time to invest? Because that's even more time you got to step away from the business and to work on it. And that's totally cool, right? Like that, I don't mind that. But me, I have a family to take care of. So anytime I'm not working or I'm not having somebody else work for me making money, I lose money. And in window cleaning in Michigan, you got to work while it's hot. You got to work while the calls are coming in. You got about usually 8 to 9 months. So you really want to keep pushing and grind hard, man, because the season winds up quick. It goes fast. So that's why I kind of find myself pushing myself. But I'm excited for the future. When I first started this business, I never wanted to go full time. I never wanted to hire, right? But as I'm growing and as I am slowly losing my mind, I am figuring out that help is needed, and I'm going to execute those things to advance the business and to free up my time. And I think once I bring on a couple of techs, I want to probably either hire a virtual assistant or bring my wife on part-time, or however we want to do it, for calls and estimates and all that jazz, because that's becoming more of a problem as I grow. And mind you, like I said, I don't have any marketing budget. I don't put out there at all. I know when I start bringing some folks on, and I'm going to have to start putting out my yard signs again, start doing my 5-arounds again. I'm going to have to start being a little bit more active on the socials. It's all the things that you were doing before, right, for yourself, but now you got to do it for your techs. So I think it's kind of full circle moment. And, maybe getting into a couple magazines, getting into, and I don't believe in radio. I don't believe in billboards, to be honest. But I think, 5 rounds are a big one. And honestly, yard signs are great too. You just got to remember to pick the dang things up. That's why I stopped doing it, right? Because I had calls. You're going to come get your yard signs. Like, oh man, that was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I should probably go get that. So I have a ton of them, right? Just putting them out there, let them do the work. I think word of mouth is huge, but just be ready for that grow or slow season, because you can push yourself and push yourself. I'm 33 years old, and I don't want to be doing this until I'm 65. There's just no physical way that I can keep going the rate I'm going and be okay by the time I'm 50s or 60s, right? And be okay in my head too. Like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. So many guys have told me, or girls, I wish I would have hired sooner. I wish I would have got off the truck sooner. I wish I would have done these things sooner. So that's what I want to do. I wish I would have started my window cleaning business sooner. I wish I would have quit Western sooner, right? So I'm very meticulous and very calculative on a lot of my stuff. And sometimes, man, you just got to go for it. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what, God, it's in your hands. I'm going to push this through. If it doesn't work out, okay. But I'm going to praise you if it doesn't or if it does. So, that's my thinking, and I think I'm going to have a little bit more of that thinking as I dive deeper into this. And I'm excited, but I'm nervous. You've built a brand for so long, and you don't want anybody to tarnish it. And bringing anybody, I don't care who it is, them, not know them, you bring them off the street, they have the best track record. It's still risky, but it's necessary to get to where I want to be with my family, where I want to be financially. That brings me to thinking about, like, write down, and I'm going to do this because I really haven't done it recently, but what do you want your business to be for you? Money is a given, right? That's why we started this. All of us needed more money. But what else do you want it to do for you? Do you want it to give you a purpose? Do you want it to give you time? Do you want it to give you opportunity? Do you want it to give you excuses? Like, it can do anything you want it to do. But I think driving it to narrow down a few specific goals or things that you want it to do for you, and then you make your set decisions off of those things. And I think that's kind of how I want to look into it. So yeah, real quick thing, in my van, it's loud in my house, so I wanted to make this quick video. I really do want to put some more content out there. I'm going to keep pushing. I am going to start these Q&A sessions. I have a lot of people still hitting me up from around the country. I'm about to take a phone call from Danny and San Diego talking about some stuff. But I got a lot of guys hitting me up from, like I said, I think they just find me on that video that's kind of blown up about window cleaning on a different channel. And they're just like, dude, how'd you do it? Give me some tips. What would you do here? What would you use here? And I'm all about helping. So I take them when I can. But I'm going to start people write me a lot too, so like on emails and stuff. So I'm gonna start taking those examples because I think a lot of other people have those questions. So I'm just gonna start doing Q&A videos, and I think that'll work well. So appreciate you hanging with me. Like I said, this is more of just like a journal entry, honestly. Um, I've taken the necessary steps to grow. I'm slowly losing my mind, so I'm very like this Memorial Day weekend couldn't come quick enough for me. Got a couple days off. I worked yesterday early in the morning, but it's nice to have a couple of days off. And yeah, look out for some more videos. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Catch ya.